Hi guys, welcome to day 9 of the thinking experiment. So today I wanted to talk a little bit more about the awareness of thinking things are about you. So how often do you walk into a room and you think, everyone's looking at me, what are people thinking about me? Oh, that must be happening because of what I did. I could sing a song about it. It's like all these thoughts that we have about, oh, they must be looking at me, they must be thinking about me, it must be all about me. I do remember back when I was studying personal development when I was a teenager, and I remember the thought that I thought that whenever someone was laughing, they were laughing at me. And it was really interesting. I had the awareness come through that if I'm thinking that they're talking about me, that they're thinking about me and all of that sort of thing, it's like, if I'm thinking that, what's stopping other people from thinking that too? And that everyone is actually thinking that everything's about them and they're not actually thinking about me at all. And I think that's a really cool awareness to have, is that when you notice that you're thinking everything is about you, that you recognize that everyone thinks things are about them and everyone sees things from their own perspective. And it's so interesting to see it from that perspective. Again, a different perspective, and to actually notice that everyone thinks everything's about them and they're not even thinking about you at all. And that gives you an out of jail free card. It's like, no one's actually thinking about you. They're actually thinking about how it affects them. And everyone is thinking about how things affect them. And even when something happens, just from your day to day, whatever, when things happen in your day to day, they actually, people are always seeing things from their perspective. They are always experiencing things from their own perspective and their own inner voice that is constantly going on, actually saying, but that's, how does that affect me? And how does that affect me? And how does that relate back to me? And everyone is doing it. So if we realize that everyone is doing it, we can really just take the pressure off and notice that no one is actually looking at us at all. And even if, say, for example, they say, I don't know, if you think that people might think that you're this or that, in actual fact, they're actually just relating it back to themselves subconsciously. And usually people will judge others around particular elements as to how they judge themselves. So if you look at, say, when people judge how people eat, how people look, whatever, you'll find that they're constantly judging themselves in their mind. So again, it doesn't really matter if people do judge you, because in actual fact, they're just projecting the judgment that they have on themselves, and you can just let that go, because it doesn't really affect you at all, unless it does affect you, and then you can just decide where you may be thinking that about yourself. So it's really important to have these reflections. It's really important for you to go within and look at what's going on. But if you've got any thoughts around how people see you, what's happening is about you, anything like that, you can kind of just recognize it and notice that no one cares. Everyone is only caring about themselves. And that's just the way life is. I will share a little bit of a message that I got yesterday, which is maybe a little bit controversial, but it is what it is. And it's where I was actually really, really sad about some, friends and family members who are going through some really tough times, and also some people who have passed away. And I was really sad about their loss and really sad about all of that. And then the awareness that came through was that I was focusing on my own loss, my feeling of loss, my own feeling of missing them, and that I was actually not even concentrating at all about how they feel and what they're going through. And when you focus on what they're going through, when you focus on what they're experiencing, what they're feeling, what they're going through, even if they're not here and they've passed away, it's like you don't feel that loss anymore. All of a sudden, you're just focused on how much you love them. And that was a really interesting awareness to have. So again, look at how you're making everything about you, because everyone else is as well, whether it's conscious or subconscious. And these are thoughts. that aren't true. Because everyone's just making everything about them and they're not thinking about us at all. And if they are thinking about you, then they're referring back to how it relates back to them. So just remember that next time you have those thoughts. I'll see you tomorrow.